BPA in the news, and news that's in your health. Plastic outgasses into our food. The substance is called Bisphenol A, or BPA for short. If you drink from plastic like bottled water, your health is at risk. If you microwave your food in plastic, your health is at risk. Reduce the toxins in your life as much as possible. See the next video below this video for tips. BPA is a pseudoestrogen, pseudo meaning false. Too much estrogen can cause a migraine because of a hormonal imbalance. That means when you drink from a plastic bottle, your body thinks, oh, estrogen. The body uses the pseudoestrogen to cause an imbalance exactly the way our body uses estrogen, your body makes in your own body fat. Hormonal imbalance contributes to heart disease, osteoporosis, monthly menstrual cramps, night sweats, hormonal migraines. Eating BPA, Bisphenol A, is a hazard to your health. Listen to 3 news reports that I have gathered to help you understand that this problem has been in the news for a very long time.
This morning in Health Watch, can plastics make you sick? Today the Food and Drug Administration is going to look into whether a compound that's used in plastics called BPA is safe. Joining us is CBS News medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the controversy over this Bisphenol A or BPA?
Well, it's everywhere, right? More than 90% of us have it in our body. And the question is it safe? And the problem is that most of the studies are in rats and mice where it's shown it can do some harm. It acts like an estrogen. It can mimic estrogen in the body, and so you can affect breast development. You can maybe change the timing of puberty, but that's in rats. What about in man? Well, 2 weeks ago, for the first time, there's a study in monkeys showing that it can affect brain development. This has heated up the controversy, and this afternoon the FDA is going to meet about it.
Okay, so let's say we want to avoid it just in case. How do we know what it's in?
It's not easy because it's not clearly labeled. Okay, one thing is that on the bottom of hard plastic containers, it makes plastic hard. On the bottom of hard plastic containers is the number 7. So it's over here. There's a 7. Don't try to figure out a 7. Right. It's etched in. It's blue on blue, but that says that this is Bisphenol A.
So it has a 7. No.
That's a no.
The only
right.
Number?
For now, that's the one that we know for sure.
Okay.
Now, it's also in the lining of cans. It's in soda cans and food cans. It can potentially leach out. That's the fear. So it's in cans.
What about baby bottles?
Baby bottles differ. Some of them are clearly labeled Bisphenol A free, and other ones.
See, that's something to look for. Safe Bisphenol A free plastic. This is what you want to look for.
And well, if you want to avoid BPA, because there is a controversy about it, okay?
Well, let's just say for a second that we want to avoid it just because there's a slight doubt.
Right.
Now, what about this is what I wonder about, when you microwave plastic baby bottles, when you put them in the dishwasher?
Right. If you put them in the dishwasher with harsh detergent, if you microwave them, there's the potential, theoretically, that it can leach out. The BPA can leach out and potentially contaminate your food. So the National Toxicology Program, the NTP, is saying avoid this if you want to avoid BPA exposure.
And what about this, just real quick? Why do you have
These are frozen foods. You know, if you want to avoid fresh foods, frozen foods aren't going to have BPA, and this is cold. This is frozen.
So you want to go fresh?
Go fresh whenever you can. Better be safe than sorry, I think is what people are saying if you're trying to avoid any kind of danger. You can't avoid danger in our society, right?
Makes sense. Dr. Donald, thank you. We have an FDA warning to tell you about this morning. The government agency is encouraging families to limit their children's exposure to a chemical that is found in thousands of household products. CBS News correspondent Kelly Wallace is here with the details. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Maggie. Well, for years, some mothers, environmental groups, and some scientists have been warning that Bisphenol A, commonly known as BPA, is unsafe and can lead to cancer, diabetes, and other diseases. Well, now in a shift in the agency's position, the FDA is saying the chemical is of some concern. But as we found out, limiting your exposure to it isn't so easy.
The FDA announced on the basis of new studies that can test for subtle effects that while BPA is still considered safe, It now has some concern about the potential effects of the chemical, especially on the brain, behavior, and prostate glands in fetuses, infants, and young children. The American Chemistry Council says BPA is safe.
What's important to remember is that the FDA indicated that BPA has not been proven harmful to children or adults, and that if they believed it was unsafe, they would have issued stronger regulations.
Lunchtime. In a non-scientific early show experiment, I ate a sandwich made from canned tuna, which consumer groups have found to contain BPA. Shortly afterwards, I had my blood drawn. For the next 2 days, I tried to live a BPA-free life, during which I tried to avoid all foods in cans or plastic containers. Then I had my blood drawn again. My serum samples were shipped to the lab of University of Missouri professor Fred Momsall.
What did you find in my first result?
Well, the first set of blood that you gave us had high levels of bisphenol A in it. It's over 5 times higher than what we find on average in women in the United States.
After my BPA-free diet, Momsall said I was much lower than average.
How convinced are you that elevated levels of BPA in people's bodies can lead to cancers, heart disease, obesity, and early puberty?
I and other colleagues of mine at an NIH meeting said with a very high level of confidence, we think bisphenol A is a threat to human health.
And it is hard to avoid BPA because currently manufacturers aren't required to label products containing the chemical.
And it's in so many things that we encounter every day. So in the meantime, what are we supposed to do?
It is. Well, a couple of things. If you can restrict your use of canned food, that's probably a good thing. You know, most baby bottle manufacturers now only create bottles that are BPA free, which is a good thing.
Does it say BPA free?
It does say BPA free. A lot of plastic containers, if there's a number 3 or 7 on the bottom, it means it does contain BPA, so maybe restrict your use of that. But then there are some things we found out. Even recycled pizza boxes contain BPA, so you can still enjoy your pizza. Again, everything is relative and in moderation.
Thank you, Kelly.
Sure.
Thanks, and we have a new warning tonight about some Thanksgiving staples. Researchers at Harvard found that eating just 1 serving of canned food over the course of 5 days significantly raises levels of the chemical BPA found in the lining of cans, which some studies have linked to higher rates of deadly disease. Our medical editor, Dr. Richard Besser, examined the findings for us, and he joins us now. And, Rich, this was a pretty big spike of BPA.
This was very surprising. 5 days of soup, and your level went up more than 10 times. After 2 days, it went back to normal, but a 10-fold increase from that small amount of soup.
But the big question is, how dangerous is BPA?
Well, George, that's what we just don't know. It's a big step from where we are now, finding it in the body, to showing that it causes harm in terms of health. The NIH is putting $30 million into trying to answer that question. But just last year, the FDA raised concerns about BPA in baby bottles. Manufacturers took it out. And it'll be interesting to see, do manufacturers now remove this from the food linings?
Meantime, what can people who are concerned do?
Well, you can go fresh and you can go frozen. You know, cut down on what you're having in canned food until that question is answered.
Okay, Rich Besser, thanks very much. Still ahead on World